Okay, so welcome back to those of you who have been here with us before, and welcome to teachers who might be joining us here for the first time in the Electronic Village, part of TESOL 2022, brought to you by the Computer Assisted Language Learning Intersection. This is going to be our last Let's Learn Live session for the convention, and we are happy to have you here with us. This session is being recorded and also being live broadcast on the Call IS YouTube channel, and I'll share how you can find that information later. All right, so without further ado, I am really excited to introduce Cara MacDonald and Jose Franco, who are here today and going to talk to us about YouGlish, a tool to enhance pronunciation and listening comprehension. And they point out that traditionally pronunciation teaching can focus often on isolated words, and that can affect our listening comprehension, and that words spoken in context, usually they sound different than if you're listening to them in isolation. So teaching words pronunciation-wise in context is essential, and those are some of the concepts they are going to cover with us today. So I will turn things over to the two of you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. And Jose, when you're ready, you can share your screen.
Okay. Go ahead. You can open the presentation.
Sure. So I am trying to share my screen. It's not permitting me.
All right.
Give me just a moment. I'll cancel and share screen again. Window possibly. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to remove for a moment what we see now, and I will get us our PowerPoint. Is everyone seeing the PowerPoint?
Not
Slide deck?
yet, Cara.
Not yet.
Not yet. Oops, hold on one moment.
Not yet.
Oops, hold on. Maybe I just shared, maybe I didn't ask it to share the entire screen. There we go. Let's see if that does it again. And now possibly, do you see a slide deck?
Not yet, but no worries. Zoom issues happen to us all.
Okay. So just let's go back to the basics here. So I'm in Zoom, share screen, and I'm asking it to share my entire screen. And I'm clicking share. Do we see a PowerPoint?
Not yet.
What, Heather,
maybe,
what if I put it in the chat?
I can do it. I can do it here.
Okay.
Jose, if you can share, that would be great. Or if it's a file you can drop to me, I will get it up for you too. We'll make this work.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, just let me look for the presentation
And thanks to everyone in the audience. For
yes, thank you so much, everyone.
As you know, technical challenges happen and we will work through it.
Exactly. And our presentation is concise, so it'll be easy to adapt to the missing.
Okay. I'm sharing I'm opening the presentation.
All right, and we've got it, Jose. It looks good. Thanks.
Ah, perfect. Thank you, Jose. We're going to transform ourselves. You're going to fix it. Thank you, Jose. I was planning on doing it as I have a stronger Wi-Fi connection, but who knows what's going on with my device.
Can you see it? All right.
Actually, Heather, I'm going to drop it into the chat, and if you could, let's see, if you could share it, because if Jose, if Jose shares his screen, he's going to lose his connectivity.
Oh, it's fine.
Oh, okay, it's fine?
It's
Looks
fine.
great.
Just let me know when I need to move the presentation, the slide, and that's it.
All right, let's go. I'll start.
Let's do it.
So, okay, thank you all for bearing with our technical difficulties. I'll make sure that I'll be a little more concise so that you'll have time with Jose, because he's going to go over the app with you. So as Heather shared, traditional pronunciation, when we are looking at words in isolation, often students won't recognize the words when they're in connected speech because there are word boundaries, which are actually just the convention of the written language, where when we speak, there's a lot of blending, insertion, and other types of pronunciation changes at each of the word boundaries. Next slide, please. So this creates a big gap between what students learn and when they practice what they can actually understand from native speakers or even their learners in their classroom. So they need to practice and focus on continuous speech so they can understand where one sound ends and the next sound begins is almost impossible to kind of determine or decipher, and especially for language learners. Next slide. So what we're going to kind of look at is how we can teach pronunciation in context, which makes their speech more natural, as well as building their listening comprehension. So the two go hand in hand. Next slide, please. And what we'll be looking at is several sort of changes or alterations to speech at word boundaries. Next slide, please, if possible. There might be a little delay. So maybe just through the delay of being international. Okay, cool. I was just going to say I can start talking about it before it comes. So we have a simulation. So where the last sound of one word will actually blend into the sound of the following word. We have a liaison, where there's an assimilation that operates at word boundary, and as a consequence, there's the liaison removes a particular sound. We also have situations, I know we've lost the slide deck, he'll come back. We also have situations where there are intrusive R's, so an R sound that doesn't exist because of the manner and place of articulation. The sounds get inserted. We also have situations where a sound of J or Y is inserted at a word boundary, again, because of the nature of the place and manner of articulation. And we can move forward one more. And we have weakening sounds. So this syllable becomes less stressed when, or even reduced, so that it makes the combination of the sounds seem different from how they have been memorized. So for example, we have and, but oftentimes we'll turn it into a weak schwa for the sound, and the D gets dropped. And you can see various examples there. Next slide, please. Just saving more time for Jose to be able to share the app with you. Contractions, we're all familiar about how the blending and deletion of a sound comes up. So I am becomes I'm. Next slide, please. Liaison, we talked about this in terms of a linking of a sound. So we have law and order. So we kind of insert that in order. And you can see I agree. There's an insertion of a J, and the same thing with go on. There's an insertion of a W and the changing of the vowel sound. Next slide, please. We spoke about this a little briefly when the slide deck went away about the linking of an R. The R at the end goes over to the first vowel of the following word. We have an intrusive R where the R sound actually comes in when it's actually not there. All of these are due to the place of articulation and manner of articulation of the surrounding word boundaries. Next slide, please. And this is our last one before Jose is going to show you the app. We have an insertion of a Y and W, so you can see he is, I agree. So we have this insertion of a Y sound. And on the bottom, you can see an insertion of the W sound, you are. Next slide, please. So moving to the app. So these are just general types of changes at word boundaries, and all of us are teachers. So I wanted to allow more time for Jose. He's going to take an opportunity to take you to the YouGlish site and show you how you can use it in your classroom. The floor is yours.
He's muted. He's muted.
Jose, you're muted. I'll let him know on Signal. You are muted. Multiple devices sometimes useful.
He's still muted.
Okay, can you hear me clearly right now?
Yeah, it's okay.
Still? Really? Is okay now?
Yes,
Yes.
it's
All right.
good now. Thank you.
All right. Okay, welcome everyone. This is basically what YouGlish is about. Okay, it is a free app. Everyone can use it. It's really easy to use. And the first thing you're gonna see is the search engine, which is basically the place where you type the phrase or word you want to look for. And I'm going to show you how it works. YouGlish works as a corpus, okay? But in this case, it's not a written corpus in which you can see samples of determined word use, but here you will be able to find a lot of examples, oral examples of words in use. Let's take a look. For example, I'm going to look for lot of, for example. And I click on say it or enter. And you can see the number, the frequency number of samples of that phrase in particular. And the app is going to show you, okay, wait. The app is going to show you all the examples of that phrase or word in context. For example, here, this is the first video that the search is showing. So it is loading, but you will see here a person in this place. That's the person using the word in context. All right. You have a menu in which you can replay, you can go back and play again the phrase or the word in context. Even you can skip it, but also you will be able to see the caption window in which you can read what is being spoken in the main window. So this allows for two types of things. Basically, you can see how words are written, and on the other hand, you can see how words. You can learn collocations. You can learn something else here. Is not also listening to the word that you are trying to look for. If you move through the app, and if you register on the app, you will be able to share, to save your samples of of oral language. For example, I'm going to show you how that menu works. All right. So once you save any video or any videos, you will be able to look for them or to see them again in this way, my content. You say whatever you need to say, but make your order to record all your for example, I'm going to look for another word like get, for example.
Okay, we may have lost Jose. I'll step in. So let me pull up YouGlish. Oh, I've been having trouble sharing my screen though, but let me see. Just a moment. Let me see, and let me share my.
It looks like Jose is resharing. As you
Okay.
all know,
Yep.
sometimes we do run into bandwidth issues if we're showing video and talking in our video. So thank you again in the audience for your patience with that.
Yes, thank you very much. And there is an issue. It may be also just the bandwidth, the distance. So I'll speak while he's looking and trying to get him back with us. Oh,
Okay,
are you with us? Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Oh, so as I told you before, you will be able to record your voice, your own voice, and keep such records. And also, there is another function here that is nearby words. You will have samples of pronunciation of that word you're trying to look for. You will be find nearby words. These are words alike words like the target words you are looking for. So get, you have gats, gatly, goddess, godhead, godlines. You got a lot of examples to practice. But also the app shows you the way the pronunciation of that word is written using the traditional international phonetical alphabet or the modern international phonetical alphabet. And also regarding the target word, the app provides tips to improve your English pronunciation in relation to that word you are trying to learn. The menu has another interesting feature that is the advanced options. For example, I'm trying to look for the word, for example, freedom. And if I need, or somebody needs to look for that word in particular, but I need a pronunciation from a man or from a woman, I use a type of wildcards. For example, if I want that word but pronounced by a woman, I use this. And all the samples of that word is going to be pronounced by women in general. And let's try to
So yeah,
to
the
see
colon plus F, and if it was a male, the colon plus M.
The degrees of freedom, F, N1 minus 1, N2 minus 1, 4, alpha over 2.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Plug it in right there.
Sorry.
And then we can calculate.
Another particular option for this app is not only the gender stuff, but also if you need to look for the context in which determined words or phrase is spoken, you can select it too. All right. So if you go to advanced search, you will be able to find, for example, word class, word class, word phrase class, gender, and context. All right. Let's take a look. For example, I'm going to click on power with the word Clinton in parentheses. All right. So let's take a look at what happens here. I have 582 samples of that person who is, in this case, is Clinton, talking about power.
As well, because
okay.
It is clear that
so we have Hillary Clinton talking about power, but also if I change the name or a situation in particular, the search is going to show those specific results I'm trying to look for, I'm trying to find. All right.
I'm actually optimistic that we're on the right track with the Affordable Care Act.
So guys, this is basically what this app is about, and we would like to know whether you have some questions regarding the presentation.
And Jose, just while we're waiting for questions to come, maybe in the chat, do you want to share like maybe ways that we've used it in our classroom, as well as maybe in terms of like homework practice, just to give some application, since we seem to have a few minutes, just in case we don't have any questions, we might as well use the time.
Do you want me to show the app again?
No, I just thought maybe you could discuss, I don't see any questions coming in, so I thought we could use the time, just a couple minutes, how you've used it in your classroom with your students, like what kind of activities you've maybe done, just to give people some ideas, or assigned it for homework practice. How have you used it with your students?
Oh yes, basically this app allows for a lot of independence in terms of learn, because you can tell if you can show this up to your student for them to practice. All right, and if you're teaching specific vocabulary or specific words, or also if you are teaching your students how to in context, and you use it. And since you can save all the samples that you wish to listen to, or the samples that you wish your students to learn, you can keep them and you can use it in the classroom. And the most important thing here is that before bringing the app to the classroom, it is necessary that our students receive some orientations on how to use the app efficiently, and for them to gain independence in terms of learning.
Thank you. Thank you. And I've been just answering some things in the chat, and Heather's been helping us as well. So that's great.
We do have, oh, I was just going to hop in.
We have like 2 or 3 minutes.
I was just going to bring in a couple of more questions about Oh, the fact that there are ads on the site, yes, as we all know, a lot of times with free or freemium resources on the web, there can be advertising material or clickbait, things that look tempting to click on. So always good if we are asking our students to use these as individuals on their own, that maybe depending on the age and the context, you share a bit of advice about avoiding clicking on any of that and focusing on the resource. And let's see, have a question from Vivian about, can you also look for expressions instead of just single words? And I think that that is a yes, you can look for groups of words, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
phrases, not only words in isolation, but also phrases.
Excellent. And have you all, question from me, seen in terms of the types of video content that is on the site, have you ever run into something that might be maybe tricky or inappropriate for certain groups of learners, or is it mostly content that is classroom appropriate?
Okay, the app basically showed content related to education or humanities. So there is not such risk for our students to watch any inappropriate content. So that's one of the advantage of this app.
Okay.
Yeah,
We ran into a little bit of an audio issue there, Jose. So if
and
I
I can
understood,
I can summarize, yeah, that it is
It's
it is a
frozen here.
the
Okay.
corpus is set around something that would be used in the classroom. I think Munther Zoid has his hand up.
Yes, I would like to ask, like in the beginning, you said that it's good to teach pronunciation through context. And I agree with you in that. So do you think that this program or this YouGlish will help the students if we are teaching them something in the classroom where the teacher has to emphasize or to stress some words, and the way he is pronouncing it can be shown, because it can be seen by the students. So to what extent that this program can help teaching the curriculum we are teaching in the classroom?
Okay, so if you actually are working within a very rigid curriculum, so across the globe, our education systems for English vary greatly. So some curriculums are very rigid, kind of lockstep, because they're geared them towards a standardized exam. In contexts like that, you might need to kind of create maybe 1 hour a week where it's something that you can kind of kind of take out something from the standard curriculum and work in a little pronunciation activity. If your students are old enough, you can easily assign it as an extra credit, extra work, extra homework in different kinds of ways. So Jose and I work at the university level, and the curriculum is very flexible for us to use a lot of different technology. Yes, there's a curriculum, but it's more flexible. So I understand if you're working in a context that would be a context with a rigid curriculum, it is a concern. My answer would be, like always, teachers need to be creative in the way we kind of massage the demands of the curriculum and our needs of wanting to bring technology into the classroom.
great point, Cara, definitely. Finding maybe bits and pieces that you could use in relation to your existing curriculum can definitely be an approach there, or using it for spot issues if there is a certain collocation or blend that maybe your students are having a tricky time with. You could bring it out for a quick mini lesson. So it seems like a flexible tool for you to apply as best fits the needs in your classroom. All right. Well, it looks like we are getting towards the end of our time here. I've been trying to answer questions as they've been coming in from our engaged audience. I'm seeing a lot of thank you notes coming in, so we appreciate that. And as I said earlier, we appreciate your patience as we worked through some of the technical issues. If you'd like to go back and review segments of this presentation, it will be on the Computer Assisted Language Learning Interest section YouTube channel later today, available for your review, along with all of the other videos from the Electronic Village Let's Learn live sessions and many other presentation types. So before I close out, I do want to say a big thank you to you, Cara, and to you, Jose. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for the opportunity, and warm regards from Venezuela.
Yes, exactly.
We stand with Ukraine, right?
Yeah. So yeah, thank you all for attending, and definitely Heather. Yeah, as you can see, Jose's in Venezuela, so the bandwidth there and the bandwidth with TESOL, you put them together, we get a little bit of delay, but we're good to go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. I will close out here in just a moment. I did want to share before we leave information for staying in touch with the Computer Assisted Language Learning Interest section, or CALL-IS as we are known within TESOL. You can find ways to connect with us via social media there and our website. And if you are interested in learning more about our work in the CALL-IS, maybe you want to volunteer, maybe you'd like to be a future presenter at one of our events, I've just shared in the chat a link to our open meeting, our annual open meeting, so you can find out about the professional development that we offer year-round for teachers around the world, all free of charge, of course. We hope you will join us, and that will be at 3:30 Eastern US time, so you might have to pull out a time converter application to figure out what time that is where you are today. But it will be right here in this Zoom room in, it looks like, let's see, I'm having to do time conversion too. It is in about 1.5 hours here in Zoom room 1 in the Electronic Village. I have learned so much from all of you over the past couple of days. So thank you for participating in Let's Learn Live. And we hope to see you in the future in the Electronic Village.